All right, our mower finally showed up. Quite a long story I'll share later. So this is a pretty small mower. It's 2.2 meters, I believe. Very small compared to what we had in Canada. That works out to about 7 feet. Mower I had in the last place in Canada was 10 feet, so about a meter longer. And the mower I used to have before that was 13 feet, which is almost twice this size. But anyway, this is the right price. It's new, and hopefully it's going to work. This company, I don't recommend at all. It's been a real pain to get. We paid for it. That part went pretty easy. Then they said it would be ready. It was supposed to take 2 weeks, which turned into 15 business days. Now that might be my mistake because I don't think of business days. I mean, for me, every day is a business day, so I just think 2 weeks. But anyway, that turned into 3 weeks because there was some holidays and stuff in there longer than 3 weeks. That should have been last week. Then all of a sudden it wasn't ready because there was some government contracts that pushed me out of the way. So then I had to wait another week. Last week would have been great for mowing hay, by the way, because it was nice and dry and sunny. It would make beautiful hay. Now it's nothing but rain. Now finally it was ready. And so I got Dimitri to go pick it up yesterday. He gets there and they're telling him it's not ready. And he's like, what do you mean it's not ready? It's supposed to be ready yesterday. So yesterday they said it'll be ready. Come and get it. So Dimitri showed up yesterday and no, it wasn't ready. It still needed paint. It needed all this other stuff. It's just what a pain. So anyway, he just kept badgering him, and finally they loaded up one from another truck, gave it to us so he could go home, and the other truck had to wait. So service-wise, don't recommend it at all. Now, as far as performance, I hope it works good. We're gonna play around with it, and we're gonna see. And yeah, I would have liked the cover on it. They make another style with a cover. That's the one I had ordered. They told me, no, that's just for doing roads and ditches. You need this mower. And I said, well, whatever. This one was a little bit less money. I may end up building a cover. I like having a cover because if this hits a stone, it goes flying, and the cover slows that stone down, protects your back window. Now, for that, they send this. And so I'm supposed to mount this on my tractor, and that's going to protect the back window from getting smashed. But like in Canada, we've never run with this. We just have a mower, disc mower like that has a cover on it that keeps any stones in it. So I don't know. We're going to see how this goes. It might be fine, except that I'd have to then look through this screen all the time on the side of the tractor or the back of the tractor. We'll see how it goes. We're going to pick it off now. I'm just excited it's here. We have the round baler. Got a baler here now. We got a rake. Both of those I bought used. I could not find a mower for a good price. It just doesn't seem to be around. Used ones. And so we decided to buy this one brand new. This is built here in Russia. It's not a foreign brand. And I'm hoping it's going to work good. One thing I noticed right away is these knives are really, really stiff. So when I buy a disc mower in Canada, these are loose. It's a special bolt that's a little bit longer with a spacer that allows the knife just to float. So I'm guessing that after using it for a while, it might free up. But basically, we call these turtle shells. They spin around really fast. They're all connected together in a gear bath down below. And that hooks up to the tractor on a PTO. And so all the gears inside here turn. These turtle shells whip around really, really fast, and these blades cut the grass. And that's basically all there is to it. Pretty simple. This obviously is going to get full of hay, so more expensive units would have a lot of this more covered up. But this wasn't too badly priced. I think this was about 190,000 rubles to buy. So obviously you can spend way more. If I was to buy a Kuhn mower like this per se, it'll be at least double that price. So that's something you got to take into account. Just like this Belarus, there's things I don't like about the Belarus, but it comes with the price point, so that makes a big difference. Anyways, the Belarus, same thing. The price point is the advantage. It's not an expensive tractor. So do I like the tractor? No, but for its price point, I like it. And this mower, same thing. It's a cheap mower, and so I would probably prefer a Kuhn mower for sure, or even John Deere mower or something. But the price on those is crazy versus the price on these. All right, we're gonna get it unloaded. All right, so we had to lift it up here. I just noticed when we picked it up on his truck, there was oil and laying right here. So my concern is I might be coming out of here. There, I can feel oil right there. It's right here in this corner. Maybe we could tighten that bolt a bit more. I don't know if the gasket's buggered up or what. You can see the oil right here, all the way along here. That's not water, that's oil. So definitely want to make sure there's enough in the bath, because there's gears all the way along here, right? They need to stay in oil. So we can try to tighten this up a bit. Maybe they just didn't get it tight enough. Off to a good start. Now, they didn't put their name on here, so I guess that helps. If it's bad, you'll never know. So you can see when I move one, they all move. I don't know if you can tell that. They go in different directions. So if I spin this one goes this way, and the next one goes that way, and the next one goes that way. Yeah, that's the way they go. So regardless, I'm excited to get mowing because we got lots of hay that needs cut. Curious to see how this is going to work for us. I've never had one that hangs on the 3-point. We've always bought a trailed mower. That means it's got its own wheels, okay, and then it pulls behind on the hitch on the tractor. So my attachment was still on the 2-point of the tractor, but it had its own wheels for the mower on either side. And then, of course, like I said, it was almost twice this size, right? So this will be my first time running a mower like this. No difference really, except this is a bit more beside you than behind you, but same difference. So pretty exciting. Looks like it's only got one cylinder. Be gravity down and then cylinder up. Safety in here will take off when we get mowing. That's what's keeping it from flopping down right now. Oh, it does have a skid shoe, so that's good. Man. All right, we're doing our checks here. Quality control is horrible. Look at this. Grease nipple's not even stuck. This is supposed to be threaded into that hole. It's not even stuck to anything.
That one has no grease.
Obviously, they didn't put any grease in it. I don't know about the oil in it.
Alcohol being overspray.
Alright, we were noticing earlier the painting that I thought I had the camera on, but apparently I didn't. But like they painted it when it was up, so this hasn't even got any paint on it at all. Because they didn't paint each piece independently. Alright, here's got no paint either, because when it's up, this has been covered and they couldn't reach it. There, the paint's just slopped on real thick.
Had no excuse for not painting this bit.
In there.
Oh, that bit.
Oh, this bit.
That bit. So that's going to rust for sure. Grease nipple's not on. None of this is an adjustment and there's no book with it. So I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out on our own, I guess. We were commenting on this earlier. And the honeycombing in the well here, that doesn't even look like it's bonded to here. It's very chinsily put together. This is a trip mechanism. So if you run into a tree or a hydro post or something, this should be allowed to swing back. And this is the mechanism for it. This will slide in here. And this spring will prevent that. So this will hop over top of that. But I don't even know what that's holding on by. A little bit of chewing gum holding that together there. It's very poor. The splatters on the welds and stuff is crazy. So it's starting to make my welding look really good. The reason I bought it is price point. Okay, we don't have endless amounts of money. We don't have a lot of money, but we do need a lot of stuff. And in order to cut hay, which will save us money, we needed to buy a mower, and therefore we bought this mower. I hope it'll last. Like I said, the West would just take it easy. You know, it's 190,000 rubles, so you can't find much for 190,000 rubles. It's about 3,600 Canadian dollars. If you're in Canada wondering, I mean, a good John Deere mower is going to run you, you know, $5,000 to $8,000 pretty quick. That's used mower, a good John Deere used mower, which would have been my preference and a lot wider. We're going to have to go over this thing very carefully before we start using it, making sure everything is good, and we don't run into some troubles because of something that wasn't done properly. Good morning, everybody. It is June 20th, and we are just back from the awards show in Moscow, and our pig gave birth last night. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so we got to do some restructuring. Our dairy cows are on this side. They will soon be going out. They do have access to outside, but there's not a lot of grass there. They'll soon have access to grass as well. Still calming them down. These are two heifers, sorry, and one dry cow that will be calving soon. So we were mistaken. We thought they were going to be calving in June because we were told in June, but look, the papers again, it's actually beginning of July. So another 10 days-ish, and the first one might calve 10, 15 days, 2 weeks. And then and they're all kind of right after each other. So anyway, I'm going to put them in with the cows, so I have this space back. But then I can move some of the pigs into here because we need to clean up this stuff. It's just getting a little dirty and full, and then we'll reorganize this and put it back together again. Always changing things around. Now, this was never built as a livestock barn. This is our storage shed for our equipment and for our hay, but right now we can't afford to build a barn, so you make use of what you have. Eventually, we're going to build a separate area for sheep and a separate area for pigs, and then we'll need more area for cows as well, but all takes time. So anyway, waiting for a drill right now. I'm going to get the screw out so we can get this door opened up, and we'll get them moved into here. Yep. Yep. Alright, so this is normal behavior. They're now fighting for territory. This is why I don't like horns. And so a lot of people are like, oh, they look so nice, you should keep on the horns. You missed part of that action, but the one cow slammed into the other cow with the horns because they know they're effective little tools. And this cow standing here right now was the boss cow and didn't want to put up with no nonsense from the new cow. But horns are extremely dangerous, and I don't like them. I don't want them on my cows, neither does Anissa. They're not good for the kids, they're not good for the other cows, and I don't care how pretty they look, they're just dangerous. So anyway, they're gonna push each other and shove for a bit. That's for pecking order, we call it. That's because of chickens. Obviously there's no pecking order in cows, but they got to figure out who's boss cow, and everybody needs to learn their place. So because there was 3 cows in here, there's 1 boss cow, we put 3 more cows in. Now they're gonna fight for a little bit to determine the new social hierarchy. Once that's settled out, everything will be fine and they'll be good to go. With horns, I don't like, because they use those horns as an added advantage to poke at the other guys. Very dangerous. Alright, working on the mower here again, getting ready. I really want to cut hay. I would have liked to cut it 2-3 weeks ago. Makes for better dairy feed, but we're going to do what we can. You can't even see me. So anyway, we got this mower here. And so far I'm just completely not impressed at all. I mean, the manual on this thing is horrendous. Just trash. There's like nothing useful in it. You know, the pictures are terrible. The descriptions of what to do are terrible. It doesn't really lay out anything. Now, if you've had a mower like this before, for the record, I've been running equipment almost all my life, and I've had a lot of pieces of equipment, and I've had a lot of manuals, and I do believe in reading the manuals beforehand to go over the equipment, especially to find out all the grease nipples, any oil sight glasses to check, all those types of things. This thing doesn't tell you anything, so obviously I can tell these are grease nipples here. These are points that need to be greased. As I said earlier, this one's not even tight. They just sent it loose. There's paint missing all over the place on this thing. There's sharp edges where they didn't file things off, where you could, you know, get cut. Paint's gonna fall off pretty simply. But it doesn't give you any directions as to where grease nipples are. There's nowhere in the manual that says, you know, you got to do these 4 here, and there's 1 over here, and don't forget that one over there, which pretty well every manual from any reputable business that I've ever bought equipment from has all that in there, just in case you don't want to miss one, right? It doesn't say anything about setting these bolts, what heights to set them, what tension to put them at. There's literally nothing there. This chain here, best as we can tell, we shortened it by 1 loop because it didn't seem to be working, but I have no idea if that's actually going to be the right spot or not. This trip mechanism I need to tighten up. So that is in case you hit a tree with this thing. It's a safety, so this will swing back and not destroy it. That's great. Mind you, I've never hit anything with my other mowers before, so but anyway, it's still a great safety to have. And this is the trip mechanism for it. I can slip by. Well, right now, just dragging on the ground, it trips. So obviously it's too loose. We need to tighten it. But tighten it to what? Nowhere does it say how much to tighten it to. So we're just going to make a guess at it, I guess. PTO shaft's all on. I actually like the PTO shaft, so maybe there's something good about this thing after all. Putting this piece on, it took me a while to figure out where that is. I finally found a picture where it kind of showed something on the side here. I'm like, and then I just figured it out. I don't know, does it go underneath? Does it go over top? Does this go this way? Does that go? It doesn't say. There's no descriptions. There's nothing here. So, price point, that's the only reason I like this thing. That's why I bought it. If I had more money, I definitely wouldn't have bought it, and I don't think I'd buy it again so far. Now, I'm hoping it works better than it looks and better than the book's descriptions are, because that part was horrendous. But I'm hoping that it will function and do the job we need it to do at the very least. So, if in case you're wondering, that's the company I bought it from. Okay. Kasilka Rotary Navesnai. There's lots of these types of mowers on the market. I'm trying to find something online. Like, somebody should make a video on how to set it up. I can't find anything like that online. Nobody's being that descriptive. So we've got this far, and we're going to keep playing with it, and eventually I'm just going to take it out to the field and try it. But, you know, write a manual that actually makes sense and is actually helpful, and make a piece of equipment that you can actually stand behind and be proud of, because this thing so far is just a lump of iron that I'm definitely not that happy with. I can't afford to buy everything brand new. I definitely can't afford to buy a John Deere. John Deere makes really good mowers. Kuhn makes really good mowers, but they're super expensive, and I just can't afford to do that. So we have to try to stretch a certain budget to go as far as we can. Well, I could have spent a lot more money buying a better mower, but then I wouldn't have been able to buy a baler. I could have spent a lot more money on a baler, and I wouldn't have been able to buy a mower or a rake. So now I've been able to buy a baler, a rake, a mower, this potato thing, and so in that sense, I'm not complaining. Oh, that potato thing there, and that's why I'm not really complaining, because I know I didn't spend top end. I bought the cheapest new mower I could find, and this is what you get. So price point, it's good, right? It's cost me 190,000 rubles, but quality wise, I'm gonna be shocked if it works as well as I hope it does. You know, even these, you think you'd build a cap for this or something, so it doesn't get all full of dirt and grime. These knives on every mower I've ever owned in my life are loose, right? These are supposed to spin freely here on this bolt. Well, they're completely stuck. You got to bang on them to get them to move. I don't know why. I'm hoping that once we start using it, they'll free up. I'll point them in the straight direction, and that's where we'll start with them. But it's very strange. I'm pretty sure, again, doesn't say in the manual, I'm pretty sure this is where I'm going to check the oil for this. That's what I'm going to open up to look. And I'm guessing I gotta look in here, but there should be a sight glass. This is a gearbox, in case you're not sure, right? So this turns in here and then transfers this power from this direction down to these gears. There's no sight glass anywhere that I can find. So I guess we'll open up the top and try to figure something out. There's a nipple, obviously, that needs to be greased. And there's another gearbox back in here. Oh no, this isn't the gearbox now. This is just a straight shaft through. So that'll be a grease nipple. This will be one. I know that every one of these, they all have grease nipples on them, of course. So, past experience helps. But I think, you write a manual that makes more sense and a bit more descriptive and better pictures. Wouldn't hurt. Gotta do my talking out here before the sheep see me, because they're so noisy. Hey, you. Bah. So noisy. All right, so we had a pig that had 7 babies yesterday, 6 living. Now that might sound like alarming to some folks, but that's it's just normal. They don't all make it. It's just the way it is with cows, pigs, sheep, goats, livestock in general. Not always everyone makes it, so that's not like an alarming thing. I think that's actually really good. First time pig. We had 6 living piglets. This morning we have another one. So this one. Oh yeah, perfect. The afterbirth is out. So she's probably all done. She's got 9 piglets. So this might look alarming to some people, but educational again, of course. They're all in the womb. The womb has a liner that's built. They all get raised. They grow inside the womb until it's time to give birth, to farrow, they call it. So for a pig, it's 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. That's their gestation, and they're like really exact. A cow can be off plus or minus a few days. sometimes a bit longer, same as humans. But a pig is pretty well always 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. So anyway, when the piglets all come out, then all the liner and everything comes out too. It's done, and then the pig will build a new one for later. Hey, you guys are disturbing her. Come down. Come down. She's getting upset. So we got one more to go. There's the daddy over there. We got one more pig. We moved them yesterday because we're trying to clean up. This needs to be all cleaned out. We'll rebuild it. So this pig here still needs to have babies. There you go.
I wonder if we'll get any brown ones.
I don't know.
I think they're all...
And then the other one's over there now. Trying to see them through the fence. So lots of little piggies this morning. And we moved the heifers over to here. So they've settled down. They were fighting yesterday. This one with the horns was abusing everybody, but now she's been put in her place. So she's actually definitely not on the top of the totem pole anymore. She's more on the bottom, which is why she's eating now. I think maybe it's because she was so ornery. They didn't like putting up with that, so she's kind of in last place now. Unfortunately, somebody stepped on her tail, so I've had a lot of people wondering why the tails were docked. Now, I don't cut tails, normally speaking. I never have. We leave them long because they like to kill flies with them and swat them off their backs. These cows from the farm that we bought all have short docked tails, and probably they do that because when the cows lay down in a barn, they might get poop on them and they get all over their back, so this keeps them cleaner. So ours don't have cut tails, and this heifer doesn't either from there, but somebody stepped on it in a pen. This can happen, unfortunately, so now there's a chunk missing and it's bleeding a little bit. So good, and they're laying down, chewing their cud, they're healthy. Sheep are good. Everybody's happy. Except for him. He wants something. Here, those lambs are getting big. The lamb's huge. Huh? Some of them are massive. Good morning, everybody. It is noisy in here because it's the Belarus and they're just noisy. We are in the tractor. I got Finn and I got Maddie. What you guys gonna do today? What are you doing? You're gonna help me with what? Bales. Bales? No. What are we gonna do, Maddie? You don't know? We're gonna go mow some hay. So I got this mower on the back. I'm not real happy with it, but it's priced good. Here, maybe I'll stop for a minute so it's not so noisy. It's the price is great. It's the cheapest mower I could find. It's brand new, 190,000 disc mower. It'll do 2.1 or 2.2 meters. I can't remember, which is around 7 feet. It's very small. The last mower we had in Canada was 10 feet, which is about 3 meters. And the biggest mower I've ever had was 13 feet, which is a little bit more than 4 meters. So significant difference. It's very small, but price-wise, it's good. I've worked out that this particular field, it would take me about 4 hours more to cut it with this mower than it would with my 10-foot mower. And to buy a mower like I had on my last place would cost me minimum 700,000. So we're looking at 500,000 rubles more to buy a mower like I would like versus this one. So if you do the dollars and cents on that, 4 hours more cutting, 3 cuts a year is 12 hours more per year, 6 liters of fuel an hour. You're looking at like 6,000 rubles a year more on fuel. I mean, for 500,000 mower, it's going to take me a lot of years to pay for the difference. So I'm better off to buy 2 of these and 2 of these tractors. What's the matter, kiddo? What's the matter? Did you bang your leg? Oh. You banged on something? Oh, that's the problem in the tractor, eh? Something in there? Alright, let's have a look. I don't feel anything in there. I think it's just from that. Maybe you gotta sit beside Finn where there's more room. On the other side. Finn's got lots of room. Look at all the space he's got over here on the bench. You sit over here. The Belarus is great for that. Tractors, I got loads of space here, and I've never seen a tractor like that, so there's more room for the kids, which is great. You good now, Maddie? Awesome. So we're gonna mow hay. We already started the outside rounds in this field and build them. Made 3 bales, just basically testing the equipment out, and I got everything kind of working. So I've mowed the rest of this field now. Looks like we got about a week of nice weather. I got the outside rounds done on that field. It's actually the same field, but just a different portion. And I would have liked to leave that until it was ready before mowing the rest, but we don't always get what we want for weather. So I'm going to go mow the rest of that today, or at least a good portion of it. And then tomorrow I'll rake the outside rounds, or maybe later today yet. On the mower, on this mower, I've had to change a couple of things. One is the trip mechanism. So this bar right here is a trip mechanism. You can see the spring, and you can see the 2 triangles there that hook onto each other. So I had to re-weld those. So when it came, it was really easy for it to trip. Basically what happens is when this is on the ground, I'll lower it now for you. That's how we mow, okay? And if you hit a tree, you can destroy it. So this trip mechanism allows for it to spin around so that when you hit a tree or, I don't know, anything, you're not supposed to hit anything, but in case you do, this mower will actually move back and it won't destroy anything. But the problem is it was tripping constantly. It was super duper easy for it to trip, to go open, and really hard for it to come back. And so I cut it apart, re-welded it, so now it's harder to go open and easy to come back. And so that's just a manufacturer error. The other thing, this here flapper is super weak, so I'm going to rebuild that because it's junk. I mean, in order to bring this tripping back, you got to drive backwards for a moment. Well, then that thing bends really easy, so that needs to change. The boys are also saying it's not cutting even. It's leaving little strips of grass between the blades, and so I think it's because these knives are too short. Now I don't quite understand it because it does look like they overlap, but I know they sell longer ones and shorter ones, so maybe I need to buy longer ones for it. Other than that, yeah, we've got things adjusted. Works, and as long as I can get a number of years out of it, I'll be happy. And then always we can upgrade in the future. We can always upgrade. So I'm gonna go mow the hay. Alright, super annoying. Still tripping. It's because of the anthills. I have a lot of anthills here. So if you remember in the spring, I had Waylon driving up and down the field here with the harrows, and the reason for that was to knock down anthills. He may or may not have missed some here or there. I don't know. Some of them may be too big and you rattle over top. And also it's possible that they rebuilt themselves. I was hoping to mow this a couple of weeks ago. That might have made a difference. I don't know. Tripping, so you can't even see. Oh, here you can. You can see that lump of dirt there. So that was an anthill, and every time it catches an anthill, it trips the mechanism. So I just tightened the spring up some more to see if that'll help us out. And I also angled it backwards by changing the top staff here, making it longer. That changes this angle up a little bit, and hopefully it'll ride over a bit better. But yeah, just super annoying. Every couple of feet it trips, and then you gotta back up to get it to trip again, and this yellow thing gets bent again. Anyway, it's not ideal, but that's all I can afford, so that's what I keep telling myself, as if that's some kind of consolation. I can't afford to buy the good stuff, so I have to make do with the junk. That sounds sad, but I mean, it is what it is. If I have endless money, I would of course buy better equipment, but I don't, and so I have to try to stretch a small amount of money as far as I can. So, and we did that. Now I got a mower, a baler, and a rake. just have to run a little slower and be a lot more patient, and we'll get it done. At least we're getting hay cut. We're gonna be able to make our own bales this year. I don't have to buy hay. That'll save us money, and then it'll start to pay for the equipment. And in the long run, by the time he's ready to farm, we'll have some better equipment. Hey, we keep working hard. That's the plan. It's interesting too. Now this happens if you're on a brand new field and you're not familiar with it. Somehow, I picked up a cable. Now I highly doubt that that would be live, just laying here in the middle of my field. But I do wonder, why is it laying in the middle of my field? So I'm gonna touch it, and I hope it's not the last time y'all see me. If it is, it's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. But I'm gonna move this wire now and hope for the best. Well, it scared me, but it didn't do anything. Why is there a wire laying out in the middle of my field? And where does it come from? That is a good question, folks. And who left it here? Hey, they must have redid the wires and the posts or something, and then there's one of those anthills I was talking about. Look at them all. That's what we were knocking down. So when the mower hits this big giant pile, you know, it's gonna trip it. Well, it's a puzzle and a half, isn't it, folks? Why is this laying out here? It's a few dollars worth of wire, I would think. Okay, I might need both hands and maybe a couple kids. I gotta clean that up before I can keep mowing.
Real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday